Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for testifying here today. We'll spend a lot of time in this room talking about the negative effects of rising input costs on farmers, and our witnesses today represent different commodity groups, different regions of the country, but each witness listed rises input costs as a significant problem in their testimonies. Whether it's labor, fuels, equipment, land rent, farmers everywhere are feeling those strains. So I want to begin today by examining the real-world impact of these costs on producers. Ms. Switner, can you share with the committee the specific input costs that are affecting your family farm? And while you're thinking about that, what sacrifices, if any, you have to make to keep your farm operational?
Certainly. Thank you for the question. For perspective, in 2022, we were selling cotton for roughly $1.20. And input costs reflected that increase in commodity prices, and since 2022, those commodity prices have been cut in half, as I referenced in my testimony. Just a few weeks ago, we got quoted 58 cents. Input prices have not come down in the same manner. They've maybe come down roughly 20%, but they're certainly still high. And over the course of years and years, they've increased 300%, 600%. So machinery costs, seed costs is a huge one for us. Those are all up, and commodity prices and the farm safety net don't recognize or they don't reflect current market conditions. And so at the risk of accommodating those rising input costs, we're looking at ways that we can cut back in our operation. And generally, sustainability is important for us. Conservation practices are important for us, but in no-till situations, we rely on chemical products to suppress weeds in our fields, as an example. And so we're looking at ways to reduce that input cost, and chemical is sometimes one of the things that we'll reduce, and at the risk of that, we're going in and we're doing tillage instead of the no-till situation, which then contradicts the conservation practices that we've tried so hard to implement.
And I assume it also means you're restricting your capital investment programs. No new tractors, no new barns.
Yeah, it's hard to invest.
It affects the family lifestyle. Maybe no vacation this summer. Got to stay home. Those challenges we all face. And by the way, would anyone else on the panel wish to address that question, since you are different regions, different commodity groups?
So in our case, Congressman, in Central Illinois, we're pretty much in a corn-soybean rotation. So our cost to put a crop in is probably around $700 variable cost, $300 be fixed cost. And so fertilizer is about $300 on an acre of corn, so about 40-some% is our cost. Beans is less, 15%. Nitrogen is the bulk of that $300. What I see happening the last several years is we're able to build phosphorus and potassium levels in the soil, and so we have a little bit of a soil bank there that we can use, and so we can back off the rates of those two types of fertilizers. However, once you pull that nutrient out, you want to put it back in. And anybody that saves money, it's a lot easier to spend money than it is to save it back in the soil. So it's difficult, and we'll need good times to rebuild those soil fertility rates.
Mr. Talley?
We've experienced that specifically to the fertilizer or carton cost or fuel in the years 2022 and 2023 went up anywhere from 35 to 55%. And the mystery with those numbers is they really haven't gone down. So they go up awfully quick, and even though things have settled down and inflation supposedly at bay, we haven't seen a decrease, and so we continue to pay elevated input costs. And in the years that I've been farming, which is 30 plus years, I've never seen basically across the board all of our input expenses go up by a minimum of 35%. Like, I think our highest was around 60%.
Dr. Newton, in my remaining moments, do you ever see prices ever go down in your studies or in your life? It's a fair question when you're buying a tractor.
I think when you look across the farm economy, you see, again, machinery prices are up, land prices are up, labor prices are up. Every single input category is up across the board. And I think we have seen some land values come down a little bit because of where we are in the farm economy. But I think we've entered a new level of where farm input costs are going to be from here on out.
As I've told the chairman before, one of my great observations driving back and forth in the airport coming to DC from the farm is watching how much equipment's on the equipment dealer's lots. Yield back, Mr. Chairman.